This video looks at the properties of the Group VII Elements. Let's start by recapping what you have learnt in this topic. The Group VII Elements are known as the halogens. They are very toxic and should be handled with care. At room temperature, the physical state and colour of the halogens changes as you go down the group. Chlorine is a pale yellow-green gas, bromine is a red-brown liquid, and iodine is a grey-black solid. This also demonstrates that the melting and boiling point, as well as the density of the halogens, increases as you go down the group. We can summarise the properties in this table. The reactivity of the halogens decreases as you go down the group, the other way round to Group I. Each outer shell contains 7 electrons, and when the halogen atom reacts, it will need to gain 1 outer electron to get a full outer shell. As you go down the group, the number of shells of electrons increases. This means that the outer electrons are further away from the nucleus, so there are weaker electrostatic forces of attraction, which make it harder to attract an incoming electron to complete the full outer shell. Remember that the halogens exist as diatomic molecules, so if asked to write the formula for something like bromine, you should write Br2. We can now look at some example exam questions. The trend in properties is commonly asked about in exams. You know the trend in colour and melting and boiling points of the halogens. Just ensure you check which way, up or down the group, you are being asked about. Down the group, the colour changes from a pale yellow-green to orange to purple-grey. You will gain 1 mark for saying the colour becomes darker down the group. For melting and boiling points, the trend is that they increase down the group. Now you are being asked to predict the colour and state of astatine, which is the furthest halogen down the group. Therefore, it must be a darker colour than purple or grey, and has to be a solid at room temperature. Now you are being asked to fill in a table with the missing data, and there is 1 mark for each correct column. Let's start by looking at the states at room temperature. Fluorine must be a gas at room temperature, as the boiling point is well below that of room temperature, which is 25 degrees Celsius. You have learned that the state of iodine at room temperature is a solid. Both of these will score you 1 mark. The tricky part of this question is now to predict the boiling point of chlorine. You should know that the boiling point increases down the group, so the boiling point of chlorine will be between fluorine and bromine. You can estimate a value, or you can calculate the midpoint between their boiling points. To do this, you would do 59 minus 188, which will give you 247. You then divide this by 2 to get 123.5. Then take this away from 59 to give a value of minus 64.5 degrees Celsius. A range is usually given for questions like these. An answer within this range will score you 1 mark. Finally, the reason that elements have similar chemical properties is to do with the number of electrons they have in their outer shells. All of the halogen elements have 7 electrons in the outermost shell. This is all you need to state to score the mark. In summary, the Group VII elements, or the halogens, exist as diatomic molecules. Down the group, the melting and boiling points increase, they become darker in colour, their density increases, and they become less reactive. Don't forget to check out all our other fantastic revision resources here at Save My Exams.